Are you ready? Group 2? Group 3? Thank you. Can I please have our representatives to the front, please?
Good day, everyone. I'm from Group 1, and our question was, what causes high rates of substance abuse in Ward 19, and how can it be decreased? So we brought up a variety of issues, which is short-term contracts, boredom, lack of discipline, the normalization of alcoholism, and the youth dropping out of school. And the solutions to all these problems is that we should create recreational centers and encourage entrepreneurship within the local community, because we live in a rural community, and we can't really rely generally on like the government to provide us with every single opportunity, you know. So the youth should be more proactive in working with opportunities already out there, such as NextFast. And in the term of entrepreneurships, they should also take advantage of non-profit organizations, volunteering, and not necessarily relying on, outsourcing when creating businesses. Go for what people need, not necessarily what people want. Because for example, nobody knows our town better than we do. So then why don't we take advantage of the fact that we can do tourism? Also on discipline, we should be taking advantage of recreational activities that will instill discipline into, the youth. For alcoholism, the point of alcoholism, we should be more stricter. We should be stricter on businesses who sell the alcohol and the drugs. Well, not just the drugs, the substances to the youth. We should be more stricter on them and hold parents and the community accountable for normalizing that type of behavior. So yeah, that's all that we have for Group 1.
Thank you, Group 1. Do we have any questions from the crowd or anything to add on to our discussion? From the group.
Do we have in Group 1 somebody else to add in the points that you were discussing, if there was something omitted that is critical to that question? Group 1.
Can I go? Okay. I was in Group 1. So I would like to go first. And when we looked at our question, one of the first things was what causes a high rate of substance abuse in our community. And one of the things that I saw was the lack of discipline. And because it's not like an adult will just wake up one day and decide, okay, today's the day. It all starts from a very young age where we came from school and did not have any activities to keep us busy. Yes, we did have sports and things, but what about us that weren't sporty? We didn't have anything to do. So I think we need to find ideas and something recreational besides what is already being given to us, like our soccer development, but something else, because there is a lot of passion and talent within Ward 19. And I feel it's all going to waste because of one thing and one thing only, and it is the abuse of substances. Thank you. Are we?
recreational activities that you think will. Now my question. I would like to find out. You're talking about recreational activities that you think will assist youth, but what we are interested in as government is to find out what recreational activities you are talking about. As you mentioned, we've got stadiums for soccer and netball. But what else do you think the ward has, the talent that you have, that you think maybe may assist in reducing the substance abuse? So we need to understand exactly what is it that you think is a strength from the ward that will assist us when planning. Thank you.
Group 1, when the questions are being asked, Tyrese is not going to respond to all of them because it's your group work, ne? So you must note note the questions and answer the questions according to what you're discussed. My question, group 1, you'll have mentioned a lot about recreational issues, ne? But we do know in Ward 19, we've had 2 recreational parks that were developed or built by the municipality and the government, which have been vandalized by the communities. I will not say particular Ward 19, but I'm just saying by the communities. So what do you all think as Group 1 should be the solution to the example I've just given, to say that government is assisting us with what we are requesting, and what are we doing as communities to take ownership? That's my question to the group. Thank you.
Yeah. The main activities that I came in mind was that we should introduce recreational activities that will benefit the youth in the long run, such as carpentry, crochet work, needlework, things that can give the youth the possibility to make their skill profitable, in a sense. That's
Okay. Is there anyone from Group 1 that would like to answer the second question? Okay. So, I think when it comes to the vandalized parks, as I did bring it up in our groups, but with the first one, what I like is we can't only blame Ward 19, right? As there are few other communities in that surrounding area that vandalized that specific park. But how about, instead of looking for outside service providers, we get people from within the community, and while doing that, it's not only providing employment, but also skills that will benefit the youth when it comes to seeking for job opportunities elsewhere after those parks have been refurbished or whatever the process may be. But I feel that, yeah. And with that, when it comes to creating these parks, can the facilities that are given be enough for the amount of children that's there? Because the one play park, the number one issue was 10 children on one jungle gym. So I feel if we can have more, but even us as the community, we can't expect more when we didn't look after what we were given at the moment. So I feel we both need to work hand in hand as community to municipality, municipality to community, to be able to look after what we have been given and what we have. Thank you.
It's me and Moody show. You go, Moody, then I go after you.
Okay, also, what I would like to understand is that, yes, you just touched on something about Uguti Ward 19 is not only youth, yes, Ward 19 that have that increase in substance abuse.
However, I'm also interested in finding out what makes Ward 19 to have such a high rate of substance abuse. Yes, as much as we have so many people coming from different wards to try and find jobs here and end up being hooked. However, we still want to understand what is it that makes, for other words, they would say ngama Somalians, and shops as from as abantu abasuka from outside. However, Ward 19, you've got shops as nina as sazi ukuthi spa and don't. So akunyanzelekanga ukuthi niye Somalia. Yes. So we want to understand what is it that advances substance abuse in Ward 19, so that when we plan, we will understand ukuthi siqalaphi intone iproblem kahle kahle le enza ukuthi Ward 19 ibe ne substance abuse high kangaka. Enkosi.
Okay, the other question from me, there was an input that says that alcoholism is normalized. Maybe if you can assist us to explain what you mean when we say substance abuse. Let me say substance abuse is normalized in Ward 19. And also the discipline. How can we instill the discipline according to the use of substance abuse in relation to normalizing it in the ward or in the community of Ward 19? Group 1?
You've got a question?
No,
I
just wanted to try and attempt to answer some questions.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, from my knowledge, substance abuse doesn't only result from being trapped or getting hooked by accident as a result of you not knowing. Sometimes what leads to substance abuse is a lack of meaning, and a lack of meaning in the sense that you don't find meaningful activities in your life. You the things that you have are not meaningful to you. So I'll make an example. I'm about 30 years old in my age. I still don't have a house. I still don't have a car. So the life that I've lived thus far is not satisfying to me. So it's easier for me to end up getting hooked on or trying to run away from my meaningless life and getting hooked on drugs and things of that nature. Secondly, meaning. You see, I forgot my point now. Meaning also assists you in paving a path for you forward. But okay, this is what I want to try and attempt, and then you work towards it, and then you don't stray away that much from it by using substances and things like that. So I would try and say that if we found meaningful things for the youth in Ward 19, there wouldn't be as many people getting hooked on substances and drugs and things of that nature. I think I forgot my other points.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
The question of Moody, why do we think there's so much of a high rate of substance abuse in Ward 19? Okay, let me try and attempt to assist or answer. Besides the point, Moody, that Ward 19 is the CBD of the municipality, I would think we're looking at the nature of the town that we are in. You know, it's a rural municipality or rural locality, and people are failing to take advantage of everything that we are being given For example, we would sit on the corners, but we do know that we have a TVET college in the area. You would say that someone that does not have that dropped out of school would then be, you advise them to go and continue the education at the TVET college in Maluti, and then they would say they don't have the 20 rand to get to Maluti. So we need to also instill the idea of you being responsible for yourself. I think the youth or people of South Africa have become too accustomed of government doing everything for them. So we need to try and change that mentality to say that you cannot sit at home and wait for Noetsu, who is working in the office of the council, to give me a job, because this is what we deal with every day. A youth will not go out there to look for a job unless there's something that has to come from the municipality. So basically, they're sitting at home, not trying to educate, further their education with all the opportunities that government has given us. There's also opportunities that we are being given, not by the municipality only, but also by government as a whole. Also, private companies also give us opportunities where we can further or improve our lifestyles, but we do not take advantage of that. So I would think that the way that they seek, or the best way or the easiest way that people tend to take, is the one to say, we will sit on those street corners or around the shops doing all these bad things. So we are failing to take ownership of our own lives, basically, you know. And then the other thing would be that a point was raised by the same group to say that we've taken, we've made it normalized these substance abuse, meaning we will sit with our kids that's 2 years old to sit and drink with them. It's normal to us in the society, you know. We don't see anything wrong with that. As old as I am, I would not even smoke in front of my mom. This is how we grew up. To say that those things were wrong, it was totally wrong for you to do something bad in front of an adult. But to us in these times, it's normal for you to do that. To say that you will sit and drink in front of your child that's 2 years old, or also maybe also give your child a sip of what you are drinking, or you would send your child to the shop to buy cigarettes, or you will send your child to a shop, to a place there where you would buy alcohol. That's normal to us, you know. So I think we are instilling that to your child that's 2 years old, to say that this is a normal thing. It's part of life. We need to change that. Hence, we will see that substance abuse is being introduced to kids from a very small age. So that is something that we need to change. So I think that is why I would think that there's a high rate of the substance abuse in Ward 19, because we've made it to be a normal part of life as parents, you know. Then we also need to, I think, as the government or also as the community, enhance stricter measures on these outlets that are selling all these substances, whatever they are, to say that we need to clamp down on them so that they are not being sold to kids as well. I think that would be my answers to those questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Before we move on to the next question, is there anyone else? Any point, question? Thank you very much. Can we please give Group 1 a round of applause? Over to Group 2. Group 2 was given the question, what causes a high youth unemployment? What causes a high youth unemployment, and what can be done to deal with it? Thank you. Over to you.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi. Can you please give me a smile? You're scaring me. As the question was read, our question was what causes high youth employment and what can be done. So me and my group, we did discuss quite extensively, and some of our points were that there is a lack of alternative opportunities, especially for graduates. There's insufficient opportunities for graduates and just overall youth when entering the job market. There's a lack of awareness amongst youth regarding the available career paths and market demands, because you find yourself just going to school, or maybe even in high school, you will choose a stream not knowing exactly what is required from the job on the job market for you, and even in varsity, you will just choose without being aware of what the current job market requires. So that is another point. There is also a difficulty in identifying and accessing gaps within the current job market. And then other points are there is a lack of communication and engagement from the municipality. There's lack of transparency and inconsistent follow-up on job posts. We were discussing that we will see job posts being on the notice board, being on Facebook, and then you find that in just a matter of months, the same job posts are being posted again without any communication on what happened with the prior job posts. So that's the type of lack of communication we were referring to. Also, we are aware that there's a presence of corruption and nepotism that is undermining a fair access to opportunities. We also did discuss that there's a mismatch between the available skills and the relevant qualifications that is required by the market. There is a high entry-level criteria that excludes us mostly, especially as fresh graduates. You'll find a post that is requiring a junior, but it needs 3 or 5 years experience. So that's the high entry criteria we were referring to. There's underutilization and recognition of local skills and talent, where someone from Durban, someone from East London will be hired in Matatiele, while there are people that are well capable of working in Matatiele that have the same skill. There is limited information and guidance on application processes. Also, there is insufficient focus on long-term development of Matatiele as a town and sustainable employment solutions. Those are the problems. So the solutions are to establish a zero rated, which means it's free to access for everyone, centralized. I don't have to recopy, recertify, resubmit all my documents because of this. The database has my information. I don't have to go through that process, which saves time and money. There also could be a regional job portal that connects youth to all the available opportunities, not just in Matatiele, but just regionally. So if I'm in Matad, I can be able to see that there's a job post, maybe in the neighboring towns. Also, regular updates via newsletters or just digital platforms that keep us informed of posts that are coming out. There could be also implemented targeting training programs to address the skill gaps that are there. For example, from someone who just has grade 12, there could be skill programs that are introduced to them, whether it's computer skills, those little skills that do come up to play when someone is looking for a job, that could be added. A review and readjustment of the entry requirements could be very helpful to be more inclusive and very realistic, because right now it's just a bit too high. And also application assistance, career expose, mentorship and guidance services. That is helpful. I did hear today that there is an office, and most of that does help with applications and whatnot, but we were not aware. So I think that's also something that we should know, if there are places like that where we can get assistance for applications and all that. Additional stakeholders to support skills and development initiatives, such as CEDA and CETA, that could also help, and encouragement of entrepreneurship and as an alternate pathway to unemployment. Also, mental health. I'm a firm advocate of mental health. So mental health and motivation does come to play because unemployment does kill confidence for most of us. So short sessions, time to time, that keep us motivated, to keep on trying to apply, that will help, I think, a lot. I think that is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Any addition? Over to you, Councillor.
Okay, group 2, you spoke about corruption, but how do you think we can deal with corruption? How do you all think as a group we can deal with corruption? And also, you've also noted that the career stream that is causing the problem of unemployment. How do you think as a group that can be resolved after you've already taken up your career stream? What can you do? What can you all do? You spoke about the career stream, that you notice that sometimes you take up a career stream, but when you get out there, it's not working, you know? So what do you think as a group you all can do to resolve that? The reporters are not the only ones that should answer, ne? Let's also the group answer, because you all did discuss this.
Okay, I'm going to try with the first one. The one of corruption. I think it would help maybe for it to have maybe a transparent way of tracking how many youth applied, how many got shortlisted, how many got placed, and how many got retained. I think it's hard for nepotism and corruption to hide in a space where it's very transparent, that we saw that people got picked, we saw that people got shortlisted, we saw that they got placed, and they were retained. So then I can't, as someone in power, put my cousin in there. I think that's one. Also, a feedback would help. Maybe an anonymous tip line, or you SMS, or somewhere I can write as a suggestion box to report if I'm noticing that there's something that is sketchy going on. So if I enter a boardroom and I can already tell that I'm not even taken into consideration, there has to be a way and say, no, I did spot that there's something sketchy going on during that interview, or before and after. On the second one, which was...
when you've noticed your career stream.
What I've noticed with most career streams nowadays, they are very integrated with each other. So just a little nudge of a a skills training could help me steer into a more correct direction. For example, if I maybe did HR, I did maybe just a diploma. If I can get more skills into steering into more of a different direction, which are skills that don't really require me to go back to university, but just those little skills that do pop up in a different stream that is still aligned, but just a little different to what is required in the job market, I think that would help. Yeah.
You almost help her, you're putting her under pressure. Group 2?
Okay, all these questions are not going to one person. It's the group that will have to assist when we ask questions. And this one that I'm going to ask, maybe Department of Education was assistant. There is high rate of dropouts up in Ward 19. Most they drop out before they get to grade 12, or drop out at grade 12 and they don't go back to school after that. I know there is an issue with Department of Education not wanting to accept back the grade 12s who have failed or matric. So I don't know if that is the cause, but I want to find out from the floor and from the department if that can be a cause of a high unemployment rate. Maybe it's because most of our young people, they are not employable because they do not have skills and they drop out from eskoleni. And how can they assist as a department abantu who have failed matric, who want to go back to matric, since we know we do not have a finishing schools? So yes, that's my question. Thank you.
Department.
Yes. To the program director, the councillor, the officials, the stakeholders, social development, IEC, and other departments, also the youth that is here. I am Ms. Kwok from Department of Education. As a sport, I am SPU coordinator in the district. Of course, working with youth as well. I'm going to answer Sismuti. As Department of Education, perhaps I was thinking I'm going to respond, talk about the issues when I do my presentation. But now I'm tempted to also get into Group 1, where I wanted to say, Councillor, the youth did not mention the taverns that are near the schools. And that is causing our children, before they even get to school, they go via the taverns. And they get, it's either it's a cigarette, it's either it's 1 or 2 sips here and there. And our learners end up going to school drunk or high. So what do we expect? Because there is no way that you can go to school under the influence of liquor and you still make it. You will fail. And we always preach these things. As Department of Education, we have what we call a MODI, zero tolerance on e-learner dropout. Zero tolerance on e-learner dropout is a program that is meant to collect all the learners who are out of school and they are still of the school going age, meaning that the learners are still below the age of 18, but they are out of school. It means to say, with Department of Education, together with the municipality, we have that responsibility because the municipality is aware of the community members in the ward. Even the social development, they've got social workers who have the responsibility to ensure that, because these children, they drop out of school because of the social challenges that they face. We cannot run away from that. It's either the problem is at home or the problem is within the peers, your friends. That is why when we were growing up, it was always said, choose your friends wisely. Your friends that you mix with are explaining who you are as a person. It says now, as with Department of Education, we always say, Councillor Tina, as it is Itumbu, they are walking. Because as Department of Education, we are supposed to ensure that learners are at school. But if they are not at school, they are roaming around the streets, it means to say we have failed somewhere as the department. So we had then the intervention, because we know that the school, at school, if you are from grade R, entry level, grade R, grade 1, grade 2, up until grade 12, it's not easy for a school to admit a learner in between. Because if you have, our schools are overcrowded. If you have 150 learners in grade 8, and those learners, they all pass to grade 9, how are you still expected to admit learners from other schools? It's the same thing that happens with grade 12. In grade 12, if a school has 100 learners, you already overcrowded. You don't have space for the learners who have failed. So what we said as the department, yes, there are schools that are still taking the failures. It's not that it's completely out, Modi. The learners who have failed grade 12, there are schools that are still taking them back. But the other schools simply don't want to take them back. Because remember, we as Department of Education, we are also, and also as the community, we are also putting the principals under pressure of 100% pass rate, of which even the parents, they want that 100% rate. Because one child of mine is my 100%. Untateli nga umntwana wakhe phaya esikolweni phaya ekhaya ungumntwana wakhe yedwa qha. It's the only learner, but at school there are 80 learners. If 80 learners, out of 80 learners, 70 learners make it, they pass grade 12. What about the 10? So we can celebrate the 90% pass rate, but me as a parent, I will not celebrate because my child failed. So we said as a department, let's make an intervention program, which is the second chance metric program, where the Department of Education registers the learners who did not at school in grade 12. We register everyone who comes. We even went further to say, even if you did not see the door of grade 12, you still have a chance. If you have e-report, even the young ones that are here, if you have e-report grade 9, simply grade 9 report. If you have a report grade 9, you are allowed to register to write grade 12 without going to grade 10, without going to grade 11. You just go and register for writing your grade 12. You come to Department of Education exams offices. You register, you just come with your report, yakwa grade 9. But the catch is this: you must be older than 21 years. That's the age. If you are still within the age 18, 19, 20, you can't register. You have to go back to school and finish. So those are the things that I just wanted to mention, Chair. But in terms of the unemployment, if I may just also come in on that one, Chair. No, let me not tempt it. I will put it on my presentation. Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Group 3. Okay, can we please give group 2 a last round of applause, please? Group 3 had an advantage because they had 30 more minutes extra while we were presenting. They could still jot down their last few ideas. So over to you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Sinoto. I'm part of Group 3, and we had the topic that was, what are the obstacles that are preventing the youth from starting businesses, and what can be done to create opportunities for youth businesses? So we started with the challenges. We spoke about the lack of exposure, access, and knowledge on business registration, the required documents that are required for you to register your business and formalize it. There's a lack of knowledge on funding, applications, and even government support systems. such as subsidies, training programs, such as those that are offered by the National Youth Development Agency, which is the NYDA. Another thing is that there's a lack of startup capital in the initial stage, which adds to low confidence and difficulty starting. Market conditions are often shifting and they're unstable, such as the increase in fuel prices, and that leads to price hikes. That leads to price hikes, and suppliers will often charge higher prices when there's been an increase of fuel prices. So then that leads to a low profit margin for the young or small business owner. Another challenge around businesses and entrepreneurship resilience is that most businesses fail in the first stage because of a lack of knowledge or experience. The youth needs the government to give them guidance on how to avoid early stage mistakes. Another challenge would be that in obtaining certain licenses and permits to operate in various industries that require those permits for the operation of the business, and this is required for compliance. There's a lack of knowledge on business accountings, bookkeepings, tax payments, employment ethics and laws for the running of small businesses, a lack of knowledge on contracts that protect the business, HR practices, employment practices, business profiles, difficulty accessing suppliers and negotiation skills, advertisement costs, and customer knowledge and research. There's saturated markets. At times, there are too many businesses that are in one space, and then there's a lack of enough businesses in another. So thus, market research and knowledge is important to avoid the youth starting a business that is already saturated. Part of our solutions would be that the municipality could provide support for the youth to start businesses, give guidance, maybe funding, a location, equipment, whichever of the few, for businesses to have a good start. Our second solution would be training programs and skills to maintain and grow the businesses to create more employment, and preferably the training programs that offer a stipend. Service SETA and agencies such as the NYDA can open satellite offices within towns like Matatiele to assist small businesses and people who want to start businesses. These agencies have access to funding for equipment, training spaces. They have funding capitals and at various stages of the business, so that even when the small business has started, it will have the proper support for growth to move on to the next stage. And this is a role that could be played by the municipality in liaising with these agencies such as Service SETA and NYDA. And then another solution would be to work together with existing businesses so that the youth can be employed within them and maybe become service providers to aid in job creation. Another point was to formalize unregistered or informal businesses that already exist, to avoid them or to aid them in being able to have access to funding opportunities so that that business can grow. And then the last one would be the encouragement of collaboration of small businesses to provide support to each other and growth opportunities.
Questions? Anyone?
It's not a question as such, Chair. I was just listening to the issue of market access, I would call it. Maybe also the reason why we would say that businesses would be prevented or they would not be sustainable would be, I think youth should go into the idea of looking at businesses that are not wanted. We should look into businesses that we know are need you know. So if you're looking into a business that, you know, the community would need, it's obviously it'll be sustainable because it's something that they have to have. And also I think we all look at the same ideas of opening businesses. If you look here in our area of Matatiele, you get a lot of people doing bricks, making bricks, you know. So basically we all have the same idea of the same business idea, I would say. So I think what we need to do is that look at the area that we are from, and look at what can we use in the area to try and open businesses. You know, we should look at the area that we're from, and then also open businesses that we know will work in this town that we are living in. Yeah. And I think maybe Moody would help as well. There was a point that was made on the presentation to say lack of exposure of benefits from the municipality. I also think that youth are not taking advantage of most of the benefits that are being advertised, not only by the municipality, but I think from many other different stakeholders. We are not making use of opportunities that are out there. Because I know us as the municipality, we do have SMME assistance, support and assistance, but we don't have people coming through to make use of those benefits as well. So I think that will be my point to say that what are the obstacles that are also hindering the opportunities of youth? Thanks, Chair.
Response?
I don't think there's actually a question, some additional.
If you don't have anything.
I don't know.
There's a question there. There was a question there, and there was a question there. Come here, come on.
Is a person allowed to ask the group member a question?
He can input.
I just want to say
Yes,
something.
he wants to input. There we are. Come on.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We know how kids are these days now. Like for job opportunities, like for me, for myself now, I've been thinking of game shops, you know, for the kids. Kids, they don't have stuff like that here in Matats. That's what kids need, to take them out of streets. They need something for these young kids. They need something to do for themselves. After coming out of school, after doing their homework, they know, hey, there's a game shop in Matats. Let me go and go play games to take myself out of problems, out of streets. So yeah, that's for me. So that's a job opportunity. Like I know, like you said, there's people who think about breaks, other things. There's a lot of young people here in here that have other plans for Matats. Nice plans, and they will help in Matats. Thank you.
Moody? Oh, Tina, we were not being Kabela, we were not saying right things. Come on.
What we, from gathering our information before we came here, we have found out that the youth of Ward 19, there are so many stands for people selling on the streets, but you find very few people from Ward 19. So what I want to understand is if maybe the reason why you do not apply for that, or you don't participate in that kind of business, is it because you do not get access to them? Maybe it's people from outside who come and apply for them and they get, or is it because maybe you're not interested in that kind of business? Because the reason we are asking is that usually we get complaints from Ward 19 that when there are opportunities at the municipality, we always take people from outside, and then we do not consider people staying in Ward 19. But you find those opportunities where people are selling outside there, you don't take such opportunities. So I want to find out what is the reason for that. Also, we've had a problem, a challenge of youth from Ward 19 who do not attend meetings. You go to a community meeting where you guys are discussing community issues, but you don't get youth attending such meetings. Yet you're the ones who come and complain about opportunities. Yet you do not want us, you don't want them to be addressed in such meetings. I'll make an example of a meeting, IDP outreach. You find few people coming to attend such meetings where it's a platform for you to propose the programs that you wish the municipality to start with. For example, you cannot find angeke ufumane umuntu omdala who will also be complaining ngokuthi stadium asina toilets because umuntu omdala akasebenzisa and it. But if wena umuntu omtsha you don't attend meetings and you don't propose such things, akekho umuntu ozothi hayi stadium zethu ziyawa, akekho umuntu ozothi hayi facilities zethu yes bashe sinazo azikho. So ndikhalela ukwazi ba what is causing that, because it's where we get information about izinto enizidingayo, yintoni ekhoza ukuthi ninga attending ezo meetings. Also there is youth yase Ward 19 in an advantage over zonke ezinye wards. Nine Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi all over apha town, but you find ukuthi public Wi-Fi yethu ngaya pha ku-ICT uzofumanisa uba i-public Wi-Fi yethu siyisebenzisa for WhatsApp, siyisebenzisa for Facebook, TikTok, yabo. But asisebenzisi for ezizinto like searching for employment, asisebenzisi for apply okanye for ukusubmit izinto ezibalekile. So that's another thing engicinga ukuthi mhlambe yenza ukuthi ezi services esikhala ngazo thina uzofumana umuntu osemzongwane uza specifically for ukuthi azoma ngase library and apply for umsebenzi and awufumani, and then we complain as Ward 19 ukuthi asibi considered, yet Ward 19 will be nje as a connected to TikTok. Also, I think ndiqabile nkosi.
I would like my team to assist me on this one. You can come in.
Team 3, please come assist. Or anyone from the floor at this point.
I can also assist to answer that, Chair. You can come, Chair. I think what we need to do, Moody, I think sometimes people do not understand how government or municipality works. I think it's also the issue of them not being aware. I think they would assume that an IGP meeting is only for the elderly, because we're going to go out there and we're going to talk about water and potholes and all those boring topics. We don't have any items on the agenda that would maybe attract them. So I think basically we need to start with educating them what and how government works, or how the municipality works as such, you know. And also the problem comes into play is that people do not know the role of government. They do not know what is the role of the municipality. They don't even know what is the role of Department of Education. All they know is that education is in charge of schools. But what more education does, they don't have an insight or idea of what more a Department of Education is actually really doing. And the issue of Ward 19, yes, it's correct. We are in the center. We have all the resources, but youth are not taking advantage of them. Look at today. We basically had to go and look for them on the streets to pull them into this meeting. Although this is a platform for them to come and voice out their problems or the issues or what's actually bothering them. So I think the first thing that youth need to do is take ownership for themselves to say what is it that they want from government as a whole, so that they can be serious about what needs to be done or what assistance they would need from us as government. So to start off there, to say that youth from Ward 19 have all the resources, but they are basically not taking advantage of them. That would be my take. I'm not sure.
I think I have quite a few points because I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship. I myself, I am an entrepreneur for quite some. I've been an entrepreneur for quite some time. So topics like this touch me personally. I think the question first. The youth have ideas. Youth have so many ideas, but they have no platforms for those ideas. For example, yes, there is an office here that does help with small entrepreneurs, right? Yeah, but it is limited. It helps SMMEs. I am a social entrepreneur. I am not an SMME. So there's a difference. And I don't sell with just the profit in mind. I sell, but I also aim to help the community. And that's where the SMME fails, part of the municipality fails to assist me because they only fund small business, vendors, tuck shops and whatnot. And us as social entrepreneurs, we don't have a spot there. What I think the municipality can consider to do would be to open stalls, not stalls per se, like a day where there are stalls. Different youth can come together, whether you sell your vegetables, whether you say your arts and crafts, whether you sell your whatever you sell, we all come together as youth and have that one day where we all have our stalls and people can just walk around them. Whoever wants to buy can buy. That way, it not only boosts profit for that day, also us communicating with each other helps us have this sort of community to know that I'm not just me. One day I know that if I need maybe assistance with anything arts and crafts related, I know I have someone that I can go to, and we have this community that is just a tight-knit community of entrepreneurs. I think that's one very helpful thing. Also, the municipality also can help with creating more additional platforms. Yes, they are there. There's an office that you have to come to here, but what if I'm in the deep rural and I don't have that 20 rand to come to town? Maybe if there was easier, low cost effective solutions that will help me even in the deep rural parts of Matatiele, that I don't have to come to town necessarily to just get the help that I need. Also, mentorship. I believe in mentorship. If I have someone maybe who has been a business owner that has had a tender with the municipality, if I'm in the same stream, I can at least get mentorship and guidance from that person. And I think that is very helpful. Why don't we attend meetings? There's a trust gap. We've attended meetings before. I, have attended meetings before, and they've shown me no positive benefits after. To me, if I see it as youth, it's a waste of time because I will come up here and I will state my points and I will talk and I will sweat and there will be no change. So there's that trust gap. It's a very big thing. Also, the format of those meetings, it's very hard. We as youth have very short attention span. We watch TikTok, the video is 15 seconds. So I don't have much time to listen to a 2-hour lecture on something that I most likely it doesn't personally affect me sometimes. Or I don't even understand the language of which it's even brought to me, or it's big English, it's big words, and I'm just tired and it's 2 hours and I don't hear. So maybe if the format can be sort of changed in a way that is integrative, I talk, you talk, it's a discussion. Like today, I'm sure most of us did enjoy today because it wasn't just one person preaching to me. We got a chance to talk. We as a group got a chance to hear each other out. We got to all collaborate together and form this one idea. I think that's a better format than most of those meetings do turn out to be. I think those are my points. Thank you.
I think the points that have been mentioned today, they touch a bit on what I've already mentioned. For example, she spoke about collaboration and maybe having a day. I think it's usually called like a market day, where you have you advertise a space and then people will bring their stalls and they will advertise whatever they need to. I think it can also be done, especially if you've already established the company. You can also come together as small business owners and have the idea together and then bring it up as a well-detailed plan to the municipality or to funding agents. And that way, I feel like it would speed up the process of it actually happening instead of waiting for the government entity or the other business to come to you and ask you for that collaboration. Another example of collaboration with existing businesses, small businesses, would be your hairstylists, your makeup artists, your designers, your nail techs. They have a collaboration where if a client, for example, if it's a matric season, they sell it as a package or advertise it as a package where one person would do the hair, the next will do the makeup, the next will do the outfits. Basically, the whole outfit of the individual will be done by these 4 or 5 people. So that's something that can be done within like a shorter space of time than, the longer period where you'd have to get entities involved. Another thing that I wanted to discuss on was mentorship. Mentorship usually would come from these agencies like NYDA and your service CETA and all of that. They do have those options because normally if you approach a person on one-on-one, a business person, it's quite difficult for them to commit to being your mentor without set guidelines and maybe a set contract. Whereas these agencies, they provide protection for you as the mentee and protection for the business owner as well through these guidelines or through the contract that you guys would sign. And even for you, it's binding for you that this is what you must do. This is the timeline. It gives a better structure than going to a person individually, because even you as a small business owner, you might say you want mentorship. However, you don't know what it looks like and you don't know the timeline you'd want to achieve certain things. You don't know how to articulate all your needs. Whereas if there's a program or a contract that's already stipulated there, it kind of guides you as well and guides the person who will be mentoring you. That's just what I wanted to add.
Check. Next time, not for you. I just like to ask, there was a question that Moody asked. Maybe if we can get the youth to respond to it, to say, there's stalls in Ward 19, why are we not making use of them? If we can get someone from the ward to respond to that.
I'd like assistance on this one.
No, we can get someone from the ward. Yes, you can sit so long. Youth, there's stalls. Moody says we have stalls. We are living in the town.
Question.
It's a question. Why are we not making use of those stalls? But we have people coming from the outer wards to make use of those areas, those stalls. Hayi niyathanda ukuhlala on the shop corners, siyabona loo nto. You're not working, you're not studying, there's stalls available. Why are we not making use of them? That's the question. Yes.
Can I answer?
Okay, you can go and then you can
Because
answer.
I think the answer is hard for the answer to come out
Okay.
because of the same thing, pride.
All right.
Pride. I think that's one of the main issues we're dealing with as youth. We want, if we're talking about starting our own business, we want the aesthetic. We want that good looking, that nice business. We don't want to be, okay, let me not say we, but the youth in generalizing the youth. They wouldn't want to be there on street. For them, that's not for them. It's not what we do.
Okay.
Was I wrong, youth?
No. Okay, what's the answer then? That's his answer. That's his take. The person that said no, can you all say why? Someone said no. Who said no? Who's the person that said no? There was a no, am I correct? Who said no? I think we start here, Mrs. Cock. The youth are very shy.
Yeah.
It's a different youth that we have today. Normally, there's youth that are jumping on the tables. But Nina namhlanje angiyazi wenzeka ntoni. Yes, you can go. But you have to come here.
What I wanted to say, me, myself, I did go to a shop once that's empty, but the blue shop, Ward 19. As you all know, there's a white shop, then there's a blue shop. Next to the blue shop, there's an empty shop. When me and my brother went there to go try to open this game shop, they told us my friends are owning the shop.
Okay.
So we couldn't do nothing of that. So now for me as a question, I want to ask a question, like for your guys as municipality and stuff, like what can you all do for that? Like they're saying the Nigers are there, my friends are there. As us now, South African people, Ward 19 people, the community who needs jobs like that, why are they saying there's my friends there, but the shop is still empty as we're speaking now?
Okay.
Thank you.
I think my take on that answer would be that we should blame ourselves as South Africans because we are allowing the foreigners to take over. For example, you are saying that you had a business idea, but the shop is still closed. But then you are being informed that there is a foreigner that's in the shop, but the shop is still closed. So it needs to go back to say that we should blame ourselves as South Africans for allowing foreigners to take over our town. Né? But on the other hand is that we as the municipality, we cannot, those are privately owned properties. So it gives us a restriction, on how to deal with privately owned properties, right? But I think Moody was making mention to properties that are being owned by us as the municipality, which is the stalls. You see the stalls on Station Road, those belong to the municipality. So the question there was, why are we not taking advantage or making use of those stores, because they belong to us as the municipality. So Ward 19, we can take advantage of that. But they see on their survey, they see that none of those stores are being used by Ward 19 youth or Ward 19 communities. So that's why we wanted to get from you all, why is it that Ward 19, we have the resources because we are central in the town, but we are not making use of the resources that are being given to us by the municipality. Ne? So maybe if one of you can answer. You've given us an answer, but that is a privately owned property which we cannot respond to. So can we answer? We all have tried to go to the municipality to say that you wanted to hire those stalls. You were turned back because you didn't qualify or the processes did not accept all. So that is what we want to know. Why are we not using those stalls, which is a business opportunity for you to start, but we are not making use of it?
Thank you. Any more questions, additions before we go over to our responses by the departments? Are we done?
Okay, Chair, I would think there's no answer to that question in particular because Moody's noting down there. There's a reason why she's asking these questions, because there needs to be something done about it, a way forward. So I would think, yes, there's an answer there. You can come through so long. I would think maybe if you're quiet, you're maybe trying to say you were not aware. You don't have any idea. So that's your answer. Okay, my question to you all is not with being aware is what have you all done about that, not being aware? You'll walk past those stores every day. You'll see the municipal emblem there. Have you all come up to ask us what is going on there? Maybe can you also answer that while he's totally so I think you answer that. So I would want you to answer that question. You said yes, you were not aware. When he's finished answering, then you will answer, why have you all not come up to ask us? What are those small little hookies there with the municipal logo? What is it used for?
On the topic of the stalls, I think most of us don't know much about the stalls, and I would like to get any clarification on the stalls, on who should we go to with regards to finding information on the stalls, and maybe there could be advertisements for the youth on the municipal Facebook on how we can access information with regards to the stalls and things of that nature. And I'd also like to find out if people from the outside wards could also access the stalls and get access to them and use them for different purposes. So yeah, I think it's just a question of us not knowing much about the stalls.
So I think I read your mind.
Yeah.
But youth, I don't know, Mrs. Cock, Tata, we are in another era, ne? When I was growing up, I had to jump into that taxi and go and look for these things by myself. My parents never take me with the car, put me in the car, take me to town to go look for a university, to go look for an opportunity. I had to do it by myself. But I think it's the time and the era that we are in. And I think our government has made things very relaxed for us. We are so relaxed as youth. We don't go out there to look for things for ourselves. We sit and we wait for things to come to us. It's very surprising to say that the municipality goes on so many of these outreaches together with other departments, but people are still unaware of these things that we are having. But Clotisa, you can come forward so you can come answer that question. You're not off the hook yet. Then we have these things, these opportunities are also being advertised or reported on when we're going through our IDPs. I know I'm a ward council because I stand and I report these things to say that there's a special programs unit that deals with 1, 2, and 3 that involves youth. There's an LED unit that deals with 1, 2, and 3 that involves opportunities relating to youth. But as Moody has said, youth do not attend meetings. Maybe you'll have, as the one youth said, we have a very small time span, attention span to listen, which is a very wrong thing because you all are the people, the leaders of tomorrow, I should say. And all this information, when we are sitting in an IDP meeting, we are not sitting there to report to Abantu Abadala. Tina, we almost off the calendar, almost off, we're going now, somewhere. You all are there to take over. So all these platforms are information sharing, where we are giving out information. And these answers that you all are saying, these things that you all are saying, you all are not aware, it's always being reported in those meetings. Besides that, the doors of the municipality are always open. There's no one that has come into my office nowhere to ask, what is there for youth? What is those small things there on that street? Ward 19. What happens there? No one has come to us into the office to say, what can you all help us as youth? I remember, Moody, we had a Department of Labor, campaign. I'm not sure if it's a campaign or what. It was at North End Stadium. A big tent there. Tatulinga, you could recall that. We were in office that time. Very big tent there. I think it was for 2 days where the Department of Labor came through with the office of the Premier to say you must come and sit, put your daughter on computers for anything relating to jobs, anything relating to careers. Which one of you all that are here attended that session? Can one of you put up your hand to say, I was at that session dealing with information that was solely relating to myself as a youth? There's no hand. Do you see, Mrs. Cook? No one. The government spends a lot of money bringing those services to us in Ward 19 at North End. There was no one there. And Chair, it's very disappointing to say that Ward 19, we are central as we are in town, but when there are events, even at the stadium, on the 19th, there's going to be the SOMA, which is the State of the Municipal Address. I want to see how many of Ward 19 youth in particular will attend that session. That is where the mayor is going to relay the State of the Municipal Address, which involves all these programs, all these issues that you are relating to now. Moody and Vuyo, they are part of the SPU that deals only with youth, in youth only. Yeah. So I think we need to also change our mindset to say, what can I do for myself? Not sit back and wait for somebody else to do it for me.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Those shops are already occupied already. They've been occupied already. Those stands already got people already been occupied there. That's why we didn't utilize the chance to apply for those stands. Because already people already occupied those spaces already. That's why we didn't apply for.
Tlotliso,
Yeah.
don't find a way out. They are occupied,
Yes, ma'am.
but are they occupied by you all as Ward 19? That's the question.
Because we don't have any accessibility or any information that those stores are to let.
Oh.
So at least if there was any platform or any advertisement that those shops are to let, then maybe we as 119 could apply for those shops. Thank you very much.
We are Balega foot.
Thank you.
But I will take that answer. But you are still running away from your responsibility from yourself, ne? You're saying is the stall is occupied, you do not have information. But you are not saying, did you make an effort to find that information? Okay, fine. So now we see this is an information sharing as well. You can come through. This is also an information sharing session. We now know what are those stalls for, where can we go to access them. Obviously now we are going to think of business ideas, what we are going to do in those stalls. You spoke about the shop, the blue shop that does not give you an access because it's privately owned. So maybe think of an idea, what can I do in those stalls? That is in Ward 19. That will benefit me. You must remember when you're opening a business, it's not only benefiting yourself, ne? Because you're going to be employing people. So basically you are doing something to also support your community as well. Ne?
This mic is easier for me. I just stood up to address just a tiny point that you raised, ma'am, that we are not looking for opportunities. We are not right. We're just expecting an entire hand we keep on expecting handouts. So that's not true. We aren't relaxed, and it's not that we don't want to work. Times have changed, and so has our mentality. Over the years, we've been attending meetings. Okay, I have been attending meetings. I've been talking in meetings, and it doesn't come to anything for me. It hasn't reaped me any benefits. I don't have a permanent job. I'm still just one of the numbers, yet I attend meetings and I talk. So of course, my trust has been broken. At some point, you get to a point where you get tired. I, of one, am tired of just knocking. I mean, even if you apply, nowadays they don't even reject you. They just go AWOL. That's how tired we are. We're knocking, but no one's answering. We are crying out for help and no one is, they just say, no, you can apply, wait, and perhaps you'll get a response. Yeah, you should come. It takes me 20 plus rand from home to come to municipality to sometimes maybe get, oh, someone is not in, they're out for lunch. That was money. That is time wasted. It's gone to nothing. I feel mentally and emotionally like ruined in that moment because I was trying. And that's what happens. That's the reality for most youth. It's not that we are sitting. It's not that we are not knocking at the right doors. We are, and we've been trying. It's just, we need an easier way. Don't make me travel all the way to town just for a simple thing that could be done online. It costs data, fine. At least, yeah, my 20 rand, instead of coming to town and maybe not finding assistance, if I'm at home, I can easily do it online. That's the type of assistance we need right now, instead of just coming to town. Thank you.
Okay, no, we understand that, Né, but you must know, when you get to a place and you are not being treated fairly or not being treated in a decent way, there's a process that you can also follow. You say that you come here and then you are being told that someone is on lunch. Yes, people are entitled to lunch, but what happens after that? How were you treated after that? So there is a complaint, you can complain about that, because we know that when people are at work, they're supposed to be treating the communities in a certain way. So if you felt that you were unfairly treated, you go and you complain so that the person can be dealt with. Because I think it's very unfair that you would travel knowing that you're coming to see a particular person. When you get there, the person's on lunch and then you don't get assistance. So always make sure that when you go to any government department, if you are not being treated in a proper way, there's a complaint. You lay a complaint, you ask to speak to a supervisor, or you ask to speak to someone in charge so that you can be assisted in the proper way that you were supposed to have been dealt with. I think, Chair, we've exhausted now our commissions. I think we now go over to our presentations, yes.
Okay, before I hand over to the departments for their responses, please note that there are attendance registers that are circulating. It has come to our attention that we are not putting in all our information. There's one in specific that needs our ID numbers and no one put their ID numbers. So can we please just make sure to put in all our information on the attendance registers? Thank you. So now we will go over to the responses by our departments. So I think I'll go right here to my neighbor, who is from the Department of Education. Thank you. Okay. Over to you, Ma'am IEC. Can sit, can stand.
Good afternoon, future leaders. My name is Uyolisa Wagachapa. Instead of a presentation, I'll just do an announcement so that I don't hold up the process. We as IEC will be conducting a voter education throughout the municipality. As we all know that we are going to be conducting municipal elections. Next weekend, which is going to be the 20th to the 21st, we are going to be having our voting stations open throughout the municipality, where you can go and register if you have not yet registered, or where you can go and check on a voter's roll if you are still appearing on a voting station that is relevant to you. When I say relevant to you, meaning that it is within your municipality, because remember, we are going to be voting for ward councillors, meaning that we need to vote in our relevant voting stations. With that said, I'd like to thank you.
Thank you. So remember, register to vote. Department of Education, over to you.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Besendibulisile ke. I'm just going to get straight into the presentation. Perhaps that I've already started just to finish up. As Department of Education, we have, maybe let me start by finishing off with the matric second chance. With Department of Education, there is no reason for youth not to go to school. Let me start by saying that. There was a time, Mudi, when education did not take the repeaters. The schools around here did not take the repeaters, but that has been changed. There is a circular, I think it's an assessment instruction 10 of 2026, where the schools are instructed to take the repeaters. But remember, as Department of Education, we are legislated. We work with policies. The policy says, Modi, the school cannot take more than 5 repeaters in 1 year. A school cannot take more than 5 learners who are repeating in a year. What does that say? It says even the principal will check behavior yako if you want to repeat. They will check behavior yako at school. How was this child behaving? And if I take this child again, is the behavior going to change? Is the child not going to add on the failures in my school? There are those things that they check. So you must be careful. If behavior yako today, it then tells you where the opportunities will be tomorrow. The matric second chance that I was talking about, they are tutoring supports that are happening at Maluti High. You just attend. It's not, we understand as Department of Education that some of us were at school prior, 2008, long time. And all this time we were not at school. And ingondo iyarusa. You only thinking of the things zalapha ekuhlaleni ngoku. You are no more talking natural sciences, maths, physics. So you have to bring back your brain to what you want to do. It means to say, lantu bithethwa nguCouncil, vukuzenzele. You must stand up and fight for what you want. I'm not sure, Program Director, whether here we have the youth that still wants to go back to school. But if there are people who wants to finish, who wants to obtain grade 12, they must talk to me after this so that we map up the way forward. 2, remember, every decent paying job, it needs grade 12. Even now to be a councillor, I heard they want grade 12. So you have to have a grade 12 for you to have at least a decent paying job. If there are people here who do not, who have grade 12 but are not at work, there are opportunities out there. You just have to talk. You just have to look for them. If you are sitting in your corner, really, you are not going to get nowhere. You need to network. You need to talk to people. I think it was group 2 who was saying here in terms of unemployment, there is nepotism, there is corruption, they mentioned a lot. I am not going to remember, we are brainwashed. Let me put it that way. We are brainwashed due to the nepotism that we are always told about. Even when there are jobs where there are vacancies, you just tell yourself, I'm not going to apply because that post is for Thai.
It's got its person.
It's got its person. Of which at times it's not like that. You're just thinking it is like that. Remember, in organizations, institutions, in the departments, when you go for the advert, shortlisting processes, interview processes, there are even unions that are sitting there. So at times, while you are sitting at home thinking that the post is for so and so, there are people who are fighting for you. Maybe let me make an example. At Department of Education, we were just saying in the past meetings that we attended that we are not going to have people who are coming from, I'm sorry for people who are coming from East London, I'm going to make an example. Uncle Joe, the people who are coming from East London to come and take jobs here, because we have so many unemployed people. They are born and bred here, but they are without jobs. Then how do we allow people from other areas out of town, out of Alfred Inzo, but they come and get jobs here? So we were saying, we are going to look at that. We prioritize abantu balapha kuqala. Not that we are not taking care of other people, but we have our own here that we have to take care of. So those are the things that we are preaching on daily basis. Somebody talked about, remember, graduates, those of you that are graduates here, we tend to choose what type of a job do I want. If you see a vacancy of a cleaner, you say, you know, I can never be a cleaner. At Matatia Primary, no. You start somewhere. Just get your foot in, and then you will swell up, you will go up the ranks. But you start low, you start somewhere. Just get inside. And then uzogenyuka by the time kusenzeka. But if you are still choosing, you're still choosing, Uber, I don't want to be a cleaner, I don't want to wear an overall, I don't want to be a security, then you have a problem. So let us not choose jobs. Umsebenzi awukho, and we cry of unemployment. We know that we don't normally advertise posts. We have so many vacancies at Department of Education only. So many vacancies. We are always fighting with the government. When are you advertising the posts? But they are just not being advertised. We always shout at management to say that we always concentrate on the people around us here. We have equity that we have to talk to when we appoint. We have to make sure that the Khoisan, the colored people, so-called colored people, the Khoi and San people are also included when there are posts that are advertised. For example, Chairperson, just now, as Department of Education, we had appointments or new vacancies on the education assistants. We are going to make sure that we have so many, then we have so many people that are going to appoint it. And when questions that are there, you are looking for the Khoi and San people. They are not there. They did not apply. Why not? You have already put the quota there that at least out of these 70 people, at least we must look for 20 of the Khoisan people. They are not there. They did not apply. We are trying to say, stand up and fight. Say we are also here. We are also belonging here. So we are looking at those things. Visit the institutions, visit the organizations, and you will see what is there. You see, we always say the black child, the African child, where are we? Why don't we stand up and fight for our own rights? We must stand up and talk and fight. If there are posts that are out there, visit the offices and say, we are here, we are unemployed. We need to be hired. We need to be employed. Talk, because if you are sitting at the corner, no one will listen. No one will know what you want. We have e-internships as Department of Education. We have e-learnerships that are there, but you are not going to know if you are sitting at home. We have bursaries for those who still want to further their studies. If you want to be a teacher, we have bursaries that are available. Funza Lushaka, Matthew Koniwe, we always communicate about those bursaries. But when you get to the applications, they are not there. CP, where are we? We know that at times, really, people do apply. And you find out of 2,000 applications, the department only needs 5 people. Out of 2,000 applications. So people are not working out there. We are well aware of that. Department of Education, we also have the EPWP jobs. When they are out in our schools, let's apply. Let's apply, because in those EPWP jobs, we always look at the people who are around within that community or within that school where they are posts. Let's apply. Now, in this year, in April, on the 1st of April, we just appointed about 98 young people in those EPWP jobs. And those appointments, they are renewed each and every year. So you have a job that you are sure of if you are working there. Like I said, as we are writing exams in May and June, again in October and November, the Department of Education always appoints the education assistants and the invigilators. Akuchuzwa phaya. You just apply, and then we will check the centers that we have as Department of Education. The first one is at Sive. When we are writing exams, the first one is at Sive Special School. The second one is at Mvenyane. Of course, some of you will say Mvenyane is far. But if you are going to get money, why won't you go to Mvenyane? Sive is right here in Citaville. Why won't you apply? So we've got those opportunities that are there. We are trying to move away from the who you know. You know, the who you know question is very dangerous, because the people who don't have the people in the right places, they don't get jobs. They don't get appointed. So we are trying to fight that. It must come to an end, because everybody needs to be appointed. Everybody needs money. I think I talked to Getche about the database. Yes, the database, if you are sitting at home, don't just sit at home without submitting the database of your qualifications. We are available, even in our homes. Just come and leave your CV. I will take it, I will look at it and direct it to the relevant office where we are working. We are available to assist. I think those are the things that I wanted to raise, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the Department of Education. Can we please give a round of applause? Next up, we have the Department of Social Development, who will give us their response.
Is it working?
I can take the seat.
Molweni. Molweni. Yeah, nibonakala ngathi nibudinwa okanye nilambile. Kodwa ikhona into eyenzeka. Okay, I believe that I may be the last person to talk, I'm not sure. I'm trying to give you hope that we are closer to the end of this session. My name is Mtutuzeli Nzane. I'm working for the Department of Social Development here at Matatiele. I'm working for the Office of Community Development. I am the Community Development Worker. We have been listening to all your presentations. Fortunately, as a person who's working with community development, working with a variety of programs, sub-programs, including youth development within the Department of Social Development. All what you have just said, it's what I know. Nothing is new. I think, fortunately, Mrs. Kok, as the third parent of Umdu Omcha, because the Department of Education is the department that, after a child has grown up to 5-6 years, is taking over. Yonke ke lento ebeyipresenta apha will be the same thing that I would present, but I don't want to repeat what she has just mentioned because I would be wasting time. There's a lady here, that lady with red. Is that red or pink? Okay, yeah, with red or pink hat. She mentioned something about the fact that she has been attending meetings, but she has noticed no change. What I can say to you, sis, is that akulahlambeleko ngakufelwa. You're still young. There are still opportunities. If you keep on being who you are, if you keep on doing what you say you've been doing previously. Otherwise, if you say, now I'm done, nothing I will ever do. I will never go to the offices. I will never attend any meeting because I've been attending the meetings for the last 6 years. And I have a qualification and I'm not employed. There are so many people that have their degrees, that have their qualifications, who are old enough to be your parents. But Ms. Kok mentioned something about Vuka Uzenzele. Really, the only thing that will get us away from poverty, especially today, is to Vuka Uzenzele. Without that, if we all expecting employment, that will never happen. Because the youth of nowadays, for every 10, 9 is educated, have qualification. Do you think it is possible that those people with qualification will get job, will get employment? It's not. And companies or mines and firms are no longer employing nowadays. Instead, they are retrenching. I think niyayibona that thing, which means the only thing is ukuvuzenzela. And I know in South Africa, we have a big problem of crime and corruption. But let me tell the people of Matatiele the truth that here in Matatiele, you people are still safe. Just go to Qumbu, where I'm coming from. There, if you start a spaza shop, criminals will come. Zizokuxhomisa. There are people ababe othi inkukhu abekho start bazithengise bayeka. In most areas, villages in Qumbu, especially kwezo areas zamahlubi namampondomise, livestock is no longer, literally, tetinyani. You might find areas ezithile kusithiwa inkomo zalelali zintathu kule nyanga. Xa ufika ngoSeptember kwayezo zintathu azisekho. People there baxakwe yingca. Inkomo zithathwe esibayeni. Kunzima ke into kokubana bangaziqalela anything, because we believe that farming is one of the businesses that yield at least a big profit. Ayenzeki kwezinye indawo, but eMatatiele there are so many things that ezenzekayo. Matatiele is still safe. I've been in Matatiele since 2009 August. Yes, ikhona crime ke kuba silapha South Africa, but go to other areas, you will experience crime, even in rural areas. I think 3-4 years ago, in one of the areas, kwezilali zamahlubi ekuthiwa yiKhalankomo, yayivelile ku-SABC News, where elderly people, 76, in fact more than 70 people, more than people with the ages more than 70 years, babexhonyisiwe ngabazulwana babo abancinci, bebatshisa nge-iron nangamanzi abilayo, bethatha ifoni nemali yepeyi. Zinto ke ezenzeka kwezinye areas. Nina ke apha nise-safe noko, i-business zisenzeka apha eMatatiele. I've never heard of cases extortion, of which is the case kwi-areas ezininzi apha Eastern Cape. Ithetha ukuthi ke kanibe niligrabha this opportunity, otherwise mhlawumbi iyawungafiki, mhlawumbi iyawufika imeko enjalo. Xa ndigqitha ke apho, the department is encouraging registration of cooperatives ne-NPOs, but myself, for umuntu osemtsha at your ages, I don't appreciate that registration NPO, because NPO, it's not a business. You produce to give for free. And for me, it sounds irrelevant if you may produce to give, but you have nothing. Yeah, that is why I always talk of cooperatives, because young people must do business so that they produce income. There is an issue here, Watley. There is a big business in Ibonayo, Upper Watley, across the province. And there are areas in Matatiela that have been invaded by Iwati, like Umvenyane and some areas, Kwezilali zaMahlubi ngapha. Konke ke ukuya, you will notice if you're coming from Makliye to Kutsolo, there is a very big forest by Lewatli and many more other areas there. But what I've noticed is that there are companies, or there is a company from KZN that is making business, which I can say it's a stable business from Watli deforestation. Because I don't think even yourself have ever seen a truck coming from the side of Kokstad full of those Isgobo going to the side of East London or Mthatha. All of them are coming from Eastern Cape to the KZN province. And all these areas are not clear of which company is doing this deforestation and where are these woods going to. The worst part is that in my area, most of people that are employed by this company that is cutting those woods are the people from Mozambique and Zimbabwe. I don't know whether it's because of we people from South Africa, we are lazy, or we don't want to ukusebenza nzima, because that umsebenzi unzima kakhulu. I really don't know. I think if the youth can register cooperatives that they can say, we are here, we have registered to do the jobs like this. All these tenders that has to do with cleaning of the environment must be given to us. Otherwise, they must stop. I think that may work for us people. Please note that iJwabasi iphuma Eastern Cape ibheka eKZN. Ingaba thina asinawukwazi ukuregisterisha thetha ne-youth ke ngoku, because ke nina ba-affected kakhulu yi-issue ye-unemployment. And I believe ukuba ningavuka nizenzele nizithembe nime ngenyawo zenu, leyo into kupossible uba ingenzeka. Ndicela ke okungandi kakhulu ndiwenzile umzekelo endicinga into okokuba nonke niyawubona. Kumcimbi we-funding by e-departments awukho lula kakhulu because of i-budget. Remember, Alfrenzo district consists of 5 municipalities, if I'm not making a mistake. You might find that the Department of Social Development has a budget of only 200,000 or less for the district of Alfrenzo, which is going to be set by all local municipalities. Do you think that can make impact? No. I'm trying to say, do not rely only to the departments when looking for funding. You must use your Google and search for any other company that can assist with funding. Even those companies that are overseas, I believe, can help. But the most important part with this is how you present yourself when doing or when writing your business plan. Zonke ke ezinto zifuna into ba abe umntu uyaresearcha kwayi-template amakayisebenzise because ii-samples zikhona kuGoogle sayo nayiphi na i-document that must be done. Even namagama asetyenziswayo phaya. You may consult ke nabanye abantu enikholelwayo into okokubana banganincedisa ekwenzeni i-business plan. Enkosi.
Thank you very much. Before we go over to the vote of thanks, is there any last few questions? Thank you. We'll hand over now to Uncle Joe, who's going to be doing the vote of thanks. Thank you.
You need your space, bro. Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody, especially the youth. My job is simple. It's just to thank you for having taken out time out of your busy schedules to come and listen to all these presentations that are affecting you all as youngsters. And I'd also like to say, let's support Bafana tonight. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Remind about the attendance registers, please.
Before everyone leaves, please just make sure you'll all sign the attendance registers, please. If anyone knows where the social development attendance register is, can you please just wave it for us? Thank you. Over to you. We're done. Can we please have a volunteer who is going to close for us in a word of prayer? No volunteer, we're not leaving. No one wants to pray for us before we leave. Can we please stand? I'll pray. Can we bow our heads? Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord God, we come before your throne of grace. We just want to say thank you for this time that we could have, oh Father. We want to pray that you be with us even as we would leave, oh Father God. Let your spirit not leave from us, oh Father God, but be with us and protect us as we all go to our different places of home, oh Father God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.